Well, folks, we are there already. The final day, car number 9 now, out of my special projects pack number 4. I hope you guys have enjoyed the journey. Of course, there is one left later on today as well. And this vehicle, I could see annoying maybe some people who are newer to the channel and don't really know what these videos are about. Spoiler alert, of course, we don't actually have a V10 swap that we can do, so this is more so just a representation of the numbers that an R8 V10 would have, so that for those of you who do love the V10, you can at least feel roughly what it could feel like if it were in the game. So we've got the horsepower, the weight, some of the, overall vibes of the car that I've tried to key in on, so bore out the engine a bit, try and raise the higher end power, the higher end rev range, to make it at least feel a bit more like a V10, as much as the 4.2 litre can. Of course, the member of the community that created the lovely livery on the car will be flashed up on screen. Of course, you can click the link down below in the description to add it to your library as always. As far as the parts, we will of course jump down into the tuning shop to show you what I've done. As with some of these, I purchased a number of different exhausts, or silencers as they call them, to see which one looks and sounds the most appropriate. Spoiler alert, you don't need the sports, etc. I have gone for the racing one, so that's the only exhaust you need. We've gone for the sports pads as well, because of course it is a road car that we're building, not a race car, so you don't want it to feel too good in a funny kind of way. We've got the sports hard tyres that are already on there. Again, it's a road car. We've got the high lift cams, of course, higher end rev range. You want it to be more like that V10 kind of vibe. We've bored out the engine, not by much, of course. It's still no 5.2, but every little helps. We've got the sports brakes, the sports clutch and flywheel. I like to fit the power restrictor so that at least you've got the option of messing around, if of course you do need to adjust that on many different vehicles anyway, so we do have that on this one. We've got the ballast as well. The semi-racing stuff is the crank, the computer. Like I said, you don't need the semi-racing silencer. We've got the fully customised diff, and then as far as the racing stuff, the polished ports. It's a shame you can't stroke out the engine as well as bore it out. That would have helped making it a bit bigger, but there you go. We've got the racing air filter, the race silencer, that of course being the one that I have actually fitted, the racing manifold. I have got the fully customised suspension, and I would definitely recommend the torque vectoring centre diff as well. Then for the extreme section, there's nothing there, so it's quite a simple build. As you can see, it's still below 600 points, so for road going events, it could potentially be something that you might want to use. Of course, give it a try and find out. So if we jump into the settings, I mean, there's nothing too crazy here. It is a road car, like I said, at the end of the day. So sports hards are fitted. For the suspension, we've got a 1mm difference, so not by much. 107 on the front, 108 on the back. The 4 setting on anti-roll, 33 setting for compression on the dampers, 42 for the rebound, 2.15 on frequency for the springs, half a degree of camber, front and rear. The toe is set on 0 for the front and 0.10 in on the rear. As far as the diff, this might not be to everyone's taste, so give it a try, see what you think. I've gone for the highest on the front, and then 2 out of the 3 highest on the rear, as you can see, but with a lower initial torque on the back, and a 40-60 split on that centre diff. As far as the transmission, I've left that one standard. The power restrictor and the ECU output are untouched, as you can see. You do want to add 60 kilos of ballast. At least when I looked it up online, it seemed that the real thing should weigh about 1,620 kilos, so that's what I've built it up to. And then I've put that 20% more toward the back to get a 43-57 split, which once again, at least from what I could find, should be more like the real car. Downforce is not adjustable in the case of this one, and then as you can see, we've got the other stuff fitted here, like the race cleaner, race silencer, race manifold, etc, etc. So, like I said, pretty simple in terms of what you actually have to fit to the car, relatively simple in terms of tuning it as well. So now let's jump out to the Nürburgring and show you what it's like in practice. Now, being A road car, B, an all-wheel drive or four-wheel drive vehicle, and C, an over 1,600 kilo sports or supercar, of course you shouldn't go into this expecting it to be an aerial atom. That goes without saying. At the same time though, I wanted it to be a bit playful, but also very grippy, so that if you did want to use it for racing, supercar events, sports car events, under 600 point events in general on sports tyres, then you can. I will say the R8 V10 has never really been a car that I've loved as much as many people seem to. I've always been more of a V8 kind of guy anyway. These original R8s have always been my favourite of all of the R8s. But if you are a V10 fan, I mean, I'm sure you've already done your own representation anyway, but maybe take some cues from this one. do a bit of a Frankenstein creation even between the two and find something that's even better. So of course, if you do decide to give it a go, I hope you enjoy it, show the creator of the livery some love from me, and of course stick around later today for the last build of all 10 in Special Projects Pack number 4. And of course, if this is the first video out of the pack that you've watched, be sure to check out the other ones in the week as well. But that's it overall for this vid. I'll see you next time, and for now, as always, thanks for watching.